Attacks on innocent people with knives or cars have caused much horror recently, often accompanied by the question of whether it could have been prevented. After all, there were often warning signs. Prime Minister Daniel Günther now wants to make it easier to take dangerous people into custody. More on this in today's focus. Good morning on this Wednesday, February 26th. I'm Kirsten Stunkel and I brought you these topics today. Schleswig Holstein makes it easier to build houses in rural areas. The health authority in North Friesland is once again without a director. The carnival season is starting and Schleswig Holstein is becoming a place of refuge. But first, let's take a look at our main focus.
Today in focus.
The Minister-President of Bavaria, Daniel Günther, has announced that he wants to make it easier to arrest dangerous people. Bavaria is the model. There, preventive detention for up to 2 months is possible. However, judicial confirmation is a prerequisite. In Schleswig-Holstein, Günther is focusing on potential attackers. These could be terrorist threats, but also stalkers who are likely to commit violent or homicidal crimes. For the latter, electronic ankle bracelets are to become the method of choice. Preventive detention is already possible under state administrative law. However, it must be proven that an attack on life and limb is imminent. In the future, it will be sufficient if there is a concrete threat, i.e., one that could occur in the foreseeable future. Typical cases are to be listed in the law so that the security authorities can make a better assessment. For example, when a crime is announced, how often is detention actually used in Bavaria, and can an effect be measured? My colleague Eckhard Game knows more about this and says that according to the Bavarian Ministry of the Interior, more than 13,000 people were placed in preventive detention in Bavaria in 2023 alone. The authorities cannot say whether this has had a positive effect on their behavior, nor do they have the technical means to check whether crimes have been committed after such preventive detention. There is criticism of the plans, especially from the judiciary. What are the arguments against them? Eckhard Game. Well, for one thing, the chairwoman of the Judges Association has warned that the judiciary is already overburdened. And Michael Gubitz, a lawyer and professor of criminal law in Kiel, Germany, has very fundamental reservations, which are also linked to the question of what preventive detention can ultimately achieve. What is gained? When is the danger, which no longer has to be imminent, but could occur, over? Gubitz says that preventive detention does not work like a rotting pit for dangerous people. There must be other approaches. Many thanks to Eckhard Game.
Schleswig-Holstein makes it easier to build homes in rural areas.
Interior Minister Sabine Sütterlin-Waag, CDU, has announced that municipalities in rural areas of Schleswig-Holstein will be able to create living space more easily in the future. In the future, there will be fewer restrictions on the construction of housing with low land consumption, such as apartment buildings or loft conversions. The so-called Housing Development Framework limits the construction of new homes in rural areas to 10% of the existing housing stock by the end of 2020. It will remain in force until 2036. However, only half of the development framework will apply to low-land consumption houses instead of 2/3, as before. The state government has amended the state development plan accordingly. According to Sütterlin-Waag, this means that more small apartments can be built for older people who want to move out of their single-family homes. The article on shz.de shows which municipalities are affected by the Housing Development Framework. Let's take a look at what else is happening in Schleswig-Holstein right now.
More news from Schleswig-Holstein. The health authority of North Frisia is again without a director.
The position has been vacant for years. Someone was finally found in September. But at the beginning of the month, the position became vacant again. The previous director had only been in office for 6 months. He moved to Frankfurt am Main in June 2021. After that, the position remained vacant. The district's press office explained that there were simply not enough applications and no suitable candidate could be found. Now the position has become vacant again after only 5 months, as in 2021, Nina Rader will take over as acting head of the health department, and the position has been advertised again. This time, the county says it has already received applications. When I need a quick snack, I like to eat a muesli bar. Schwartauer Werke is now investing heavily in its muesli bar production. A new production facility is being built at a cost of 25 million euros. And another double-digit million euro sum is being invested in modernizing the infrastructure. This includes, for example, the heat and compressed air supply, as well as the ventilation and air conditioning systems. In addition, the production buildings will be completely renovated or rebuilt. According to Markus Kors-Lichter, CEO of Schwartauer Werke, this will enable the company to increase its production volume as well as its production variability. The modernization will also save energy. The new muesli bar plant will also create 80 new jobs. To find out when the new plant will be up and running, read the article on shz.de.
The carnival season begins and Schleswig Holstein becomes a place of refuge.
The carnival season starts tomorrow in Germany. To be honest, I can't really relate to it. It's not really celebrated here in the north. And that's exactly why Schleswig Holstein has become a refuge for those who need a break from confetti and costumes. The Schleswig Holstein Tourist Board promotes winter vacations. Anyone who wants to get away from carnival before the 5th season is welcome, they say. You can read how they advertise and how offers like shrimp and massages are supposed to lure carnival haters to Schleswig Holstein on shz.de. That's it for today. Have a good start to your day.